All right. Good evening, everyone. We are live now. We are live. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 7th of the celebration 18, the 18-day celebration of God's faithfulness. Today is our third leadership session, and we have a really amazing guy in the house today. To those joining us in Zoom, thank you very much for joining us. To those that will be joining us via YouTube, I'm aware that there's quite a number of us connected to this program via YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. Very shortly, I'll be reading the profile of the amazing guy I have in the house. He's a friend and a brother, and he's really wonderful. So I would read his profile now, and then I'll have him come up so we can begin the discussion. I'll share my screen now. All right, it's still the celebration 18, the celebration of God's faithfulness in our youth outreach organization, Young Gazo, and in my life. I'm your host, Charles Obrinawa is my name. Like I said earlier on, I have someone really amazing joining me to be in this Zoom call. Today, we'll be talking about how to run a product and make great impact. How to run a productive non-profit organization and make great impact. The young man I have in the house today is Victor REGAL. Victor is a young and vibrant change maker, passionate about quality education and has a history of involving in community development. He is the founder of Teen Expressions Radio Show, a show centered on the inclusion of teenagers in African development. Through this program, over 2,500 teenagers have been able to get involved in their communities and demography locally, nationally, and even internationally. He's the co-founder of Upsurge Leadership Foundation, also known as Upsurge Global, an NGO established to raise young African leaders. In past years, he convened leadership programs in different states with over 2,000 students present. During the COVID-19 pandemic, he was able to organize online leadership trainings for young people with participants from across the continent. Upsurge Global has since then grown on to start Royal Tech Academy, Royal Leadership Fellowship, and Aliyu Empowerment Program. He was a speaker at the Teen General Assembly 2020, invited to participate in the 5th coronation anniversary of the Oni of Ife, and has been featured on different newspapers like News Direct, Vanguard, and more. He's currently a global team leader via a family foundation, an African young leader at Team Nation Africa, and a Soka young changemaker, and the former Holt Prize campus director of the school. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an amazing guy, Victor REGAL. Victor is in the house now with us. Hello, Victor, how are you doing?
Good evening, Charles. I'm doing very well.
Would you mind turning on your video?
Okay, fine. It's fine.
All right. We all want to see your handsome face. You know you're a really handsome young man.
What's that? I didn't get that.
I said we all want to see your handsome face. You know you're a really handsome young man.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the teasing. Yeah, it's fine.
How have you been?
I've been very well, very well. Just very well, yeah. Well, like in the summer period, so I feel like it's time to rest and time to explore some stuffs and all. So I feel like I've been flexible. Yeah.
You've been flexible. Amazing. That's amazing. That's
I think.
amazing. That's amazing. It's so nice having you join this call this afternoon. I'm really pleased having you here.
Yeah, I'm really, really like honored to like be handling a conversation like this year because I know there are a lot of people out there that that would like be bigger than me to handle this topic. But then it's like a great pleasure for you thinking of me to see that I can handle something like this and fine. Trust myself, I'm going to do something great. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We've actually been anticipating this session. I personally have been anticipating this session, so having you join me over in this call is really an honor. So now let's hit it. Let's start this week. You know, the discussion is going to run in three phases, it's into three parts. We'll have the first phase, the personal questions, and then we'll have the topical questions, and then afterwards we'll take some quick questions. Now let's start with the first phase of the discussion. Victor, something stood out for me. I remember discussing with you sometime last month in respect of Upsurge Global. You said something about Upsurge starting as Upsurge Leadership Foundation and now it growing into Upsurge Global. And now I can see that Upsurge now has various subsidiaries like the Royal Tech Academy, the Aliu, the REGAL Leadership Fellowship, and so on. Tell us about Upsurge Global.
Okay, so fine. Upsurge Global is like a leadership organization, right? And then it's like mostly for teenagers and youth. It's an organization where young, we see potentials in a lot of young people, and we feel like, as much as there are these potentials in these people, we feel like, we can bring them up, or we can groom them to become global leaders, right? And so that was how we started different programs. When we started our program at Hubspot Global, we started with National Leadership Summits. And that's like an event that we first did. The first year, we had about 80 to 100 people. And the second leadership summit, which we did at Covenant University then, that's about 1,200 teenagers. This National Leadership Summit, I have so much, how do I put it now? I have so much I have this ginger for, let me use the word ginger, for community development, right? And then I see that a lot of people are just there. They don't want, probably they're not aware of community development, and they see that then I had to use the school approach method, and I was like, okay, let's set it like a debate competition in this particular program, which I was going to like have a prize, and then this is going to draw schools and young teenagers to want to participate for programs and all. And then that was where we started. And then when we bring the students for debate competitions, we have to make sure we do our leadership program, like the breakout sessions, taking the classes, the design thinking, the emotional intelligence part and everything. Like we still try our best to pass like the major aim of but we just use like debate competition as strategy. But then we see that, this event, it's like we're not targeting some set of like key people. Like we just want little people that they can be very productive, that we can monitor, unlike you having the population everywhere and all like that. And then I was what bettered different programs like the Royal Leadership Fellowship of one. Now we started with dialogue series at first, like a 2 weeks event that a 1 day in 2 weeks event where we bring people that are very doing amazing in the world, that will use their story to change other people. We have it on WhatsApp, we have it on Zoom and all like that. But then I felt like that dialogue series was large as well. and we now brought the opportunity of looking for RLF. Now, this RLF look for potential young people, like people that are already like that they know they want to do something, but probably they don't have ways of doing it. They don't know how they want to go about it at all. And the Real Leadership Fellowship does look for 20 young people that would be mentored by a global leader, a global mentor. And then these people are going to how do I put this now? These people are going to go through the training of like creative writing, design thinking, business masterclass, public speaking masterclass as well. So, and these are like the major course in our leadership journey. That if you can go through the mentorship from the right person in these key areas of things that we've channeled towards when it comes to community development, trust me, you're going to do very well, and you're going to do awesomely well in every part, like of in every part, any part you say you choose to cause change and all like that. And then if you well, that was I think that was not enough. We discovered the need of digital skills as well to young people. That why don't you use your like time to learn a particular digital skill that would really help you and all? And that was what better than Regal Tech Academy as well. A skill we would have done it for free anyways, but teenagers of that we have nowadays, they wanted something that would make them serious. Because if we release something very free, teenagers will just come and do as they like and all. But when they have something that they know they are committed to, and we need to follow up, and when you now pay for this commitment fee and all, this is something that like you've entrusted us with your let me say with your time to learn a particular skill. So it's now our own like it has given us this opportunity for us to like preside and like use all manner of force, not like force, but like okay, come up with strategies and make you attend as a student, and then get punished when you do not do the right thing and the right thing, because you've entrusted us that, oh, please take me through this training and all. So that was what Better Regal Tech Academy. And as much as the other Aliu empowerment program where people support, so we could support people to go to school and all like that. So this is just the way we. So there was something that came to my head. So I don't want too much program. I just want specific program where when we do them, people see the great impact. Like that was just the way it was. So we just have national leadership summits that we've not done in a while because it cost a lot to host a leadership summit. And then we are at the RLF virtually because of the corona period. We hope to do physical one. And then as well as we do RT, and that's the major programs. Not leaving out the school outreach that we do when there is no time to go out. We visit schools ourselves to take them through this design thinking. A lot of people do not know they can solve problems, right? And so this is where we tell them that no, you can solve problems at this your young age. In fact, this is the right time for you to come up with an idea that would be a groundbreaking idea that would solve problems, right? So that's just upsearch for you. Yeah. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, you have. That's amazing. You've really broken it down into parts, and I really love how you answered it. You were really explanatory. Okay, you are also amazingly, you are founder of Upsurge, and you also are founder of Teens Expression Radio. I got that right. Now, what's it like managing these two things together?
It's not pretty easy. Let me say, managing anything in this life is not easy. One particular thing, it's not easy. Not to talk of you saying you're managing to, which there is even more that we don't even talk about managing out there, right? And then let me say, it's really not very easy. But then I think there is something that I know. Whenever you're managing something, just work with the right team. I have teen expressions, right? Presently, when I started teen expressions, I started with like a weak team, right? It was because I was growing up. I never knew I like how to handle stuff very well when I was growing. Then this teen expressions, it was like a bridge under a particular bigger organization. Like I founded it under a bigger organization, which is Teen Nation Africa, right? Yes, I was found, and then but then they don't need to supervise me and all. So it's just because you founded it, so undo it. And then this team works. I keep on going. I keep on going to like doing the program, like every time. It's not easy for me. So what I did was, okay, I restructured. I spoke with somebody that is really interested in what I was doing. She's really amazing. She happens to presently be like chief operations of Upsurge Global, and as well like the team lead of Teen Expressions presently. And then she got the idea, she brought the idea so hard. And then even the fact that she was far away, we managed this stuff together. And then she said, oh yeah, it's high time we involve many other people. Then we involved I don't allow anyhow person to come around me, because something you've been building for months, for years. If you bring the bad energy, or let me say the bad vibes around you, somebody that is not supposed to be for that particular thing. See,
Yeah.
there is no, oh, I've been building this thing for 2 years on hold. This person can kill it in the twinkle of an eye, right?
Yeah.
So I was so like sensitive with the people I bring around me. I want anybody that will come around to be somebody that wants to task me on grooming, like making this thing bigger. And I'm like, God, like, are you not tired? Like, I should just be saying, I don't want to do this anymore. And this person should be saying, no, no, we have to do this way. Like somebody that would that will put me on the race, right? And then like doing that over like 1 year, let me tell you the truth, I've been having, even though it's not been easy, you still have one or two people around you, but then trust me, it's been really amazing that sometimes I don't even have to go to the radio station for 2 good months, and we have amazing people handling it, and they're calling me and they're like, oh, want to do this, we have this idea, can you help us work through it? You can. So I feel like a great team is like really solve everything, because let me tell you, you can't handle everything, no matter how. If you even check all these bigger organizations like SAP, you look at IBM, you look at Ashoka Africa, you look at We Are Family Foundation, look at all these bigger or Junior Achievement Nigeria, you look at all these bigger companies like that, you can see, oh, one person, and then, oh, you might be like, oh, this person is like, oh, the program director, oh, must be doing a lot. But trust me, do you know how many people are working under him, like, in making things work out? And this is something that I have noticed in young CEOs presently. They feel like they can do everything, right? But trust me, you can't do everything, because you see them being the one to prepare the PowerPoint presentation. You see them being the one to handle the Zoom. You see them being the one to do this. You see them being the one to do that. See, let me tell you, when you keep doing all those stuff like that, it's going to limit how much value you can propose out. The idea, let me say, the head you're supposed to be using to think of more ideas to make sure things work out, you're just working like you're using that same head for some other things that you could really assign people to do, really. Because that's always the problem. People want to do everything. They feel like, oh, they can handle Facebook, they can handle Instagram, they can handle TikTok, they can handle this, they can handle that, they can handle going out themselves, they can handle speaking with this person, they can handle communications. No, when there are stuffs that you can assign and you do it, the productivity that is supposed to come out of you really is going to be less, because you're supposed to sit down, like as like a co-founder, or like a founder, or like this person. You're supposed to sit down, you're supposed to keep thinking on how your organization is going to be like a bigger one, and you keep assigning tasks. Not like you be the one that will do this, you be the one that will do that. No, like a great team, great team, and time scheduling, like calendar, you having good calendar in your team, that, oh, and how to, as if you must have the, let me say, you must have the strength to be able to assign work to your people, and you must have this let me say, this strength as well to overlook some things, like you handling everything, or you wanting to do everything. You handle the most sensitive part of your organization. Little things shouldn't come to your way and steal the productivity that still wants to come out of you. You that you designed the structure to start an organization today. Do you know what you can do tomorrow? Do you know what you can do next tomorrow? But if you don't think about that, you keep being behind. That's why I see a lot of organizations, and I see them that, oh, they've been like 4 years and 5 years, and they're like, oh, they're still kind of stagnant, because you see their CEO running around. No, I'm not saying CEO should not run around, right? I'm not saying they should not do everything they're supposed to do. Yes, they must work very well. But as much as they do all the whole work and everything, you know, a great team is very important. I think that's just the way to handle two different or more self. You can handle 10 organizations together. Trust me. I knew when I started, I was volunteering for like thousands, like I could say thousands of organizations. Like it was really okay. You're here, I'm in this place, I'm in this place, I'm in this place. The moment I started to say, oh, I want to focus on my organization, I had to pull out from almost everything. Like no, you have to focus on this and then get good team at work. Let me tell you, I could actually say the chief of my operation is like the I can say she's one of the best ever that I would ever think of. Like I don't want anybody else. She's just there. Sometimes we just have to work together alone and assign to people. Sometimes you see what we're doing and you feel like, oh, these people are grown up people, or probably these people are 30 or 30 upward. No, we're just young. You see, my chief of operations, she's barely 17. Just like she's 17 this year. Really. And if you see all manner of big programs that we've been able to do and do and do and do, she has been the chief of operations. Nobody else. That's the way it is. She's been working for like 3 years, about 3 years from my organization now. So imagine somebody that's working for like 14 or thereabouts organization. You just need to get the right person, groom that person, and the person will really work well. Yeah. I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Sorry, I was muted.
Okay.
Sorry. This morning I saw on the status of a very great friend of mine. I won't call his name here. He said he was okay. No, not this morning. Sorry, that was yesterday. He run a film village, and he said something. He's the person next to him, the next in command in that film village. It was the person's birthday yesterday, and then the person put on his status, today is my own Abioye's birthday. So I dare say that your chief of staff, your chief of operation is your own Abioye. Am I right with that?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, really.
All right. Okay, so now let's look at challenges you faced, and then afterward, because I really love the way you answer your questions, I must say, because you elaborate and you have a way of answering other things I would love to ask you. So now let's hit challenges you faced in getting to where you are now.
Okay. Everybody will say finance, right? Yes, finance will always be a challenge. Funding, right? Because there is nothing you want to do that would be of value in this life presently that you practically don't need money. Because if you say you don't need money, then you're like, it probably is not of value there. I feel like that's what I'll just say. It's not of great value, like great value. But then finance will always be a challenge, funding to do programs. But then, as a young person and somebody that's vibrant, as a vibrant young person, that people that make people believe that, oh, I can do stuff. I feel like I use I don't know what you call that strategy in business. The strategy of you talking to your family members, talking to your friends, talking to mentors, talking to like people, funding. Okay, yes, because it's really hard for organizations that gives funding presently to give everybody funding because some people have already disappointed them. People that people that have already they fumbled in the past, like used grant money for something else and they're spoiling work for us that we really want to make impact. Well, fine. Well, we do not see it as like setback for us. We see it as more work and keep working. And there is one other thing that has been like a challenge for me. That's like how young I am. It was really because now let me say I practically started like pure or let me say official change making when I was 16, if I'm not making a mistake. Then that's 16, like that was when I feel like that was when I could run a project. 16 was when I did my first national leadership summit with the help of big people and all. So like that was when I feel like, oh, but imagine when I was 16, imagine if I went to meet somebody that, please, I want to do this, I will need your help. Like, I'm never saying I will need your help. I'm like, okay, I want them to this, I want them to this. They look at me and they're like, oh, what can this young boy do? Like, what can he do? Like, he's just 16 and he saying he wants to do a national leadership summit. He wants to bring about 10 schools together. Like, are you kidding? 10 schools together? Like, can he do it? And hold. And then me, I'm this kind of person that, like, when I was doing my first national leadership summit, I could never count the schools I trekked to personally and like, okay, I'm inviting you, blah blah blah, and tell them that, oh no, they'll be like, oh, are you the major, are you the founder, or like, and all like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not actually the founder, and I'm not actually the. I even made sure I put one of my brothers as like a major lead in this stuff, so it will not look as if I'm like, because people wouldn't believe in me when I say, oh, I want to organize a competition. They feel like, oh, like this guy, like this guy. But then, oh, you're seeing my brother as like a figurehead that's leading everything because he's much older than me. But low key, I am the one designing all the structures. I'm the one doing all the topics. I'm the one doing everything that wants to happen. The speakers I want, this and that, the letters, the distributions of letters, the follow up on schools, the message follow ups, and everything. I'm the one doing it at that age 16. But then people see my brother outside. I was like, oh, probably he's using his younger brother to do it, because I don't know. People feel like, oh, this guy is young, and that's why we've created like Upsurge Global, and that's why I'm even organizing teen expressions presently. I want to see a world where nobody ridicules any kid. Like, a kid should be like, a young person should be involved in the decision making of the country. We need to be right up there where people are making decisions. We don't need adults to sit down and make decisions for us. We don't need old grown men like 70, 60 to sit down and make decisions for us. Like, we need to sit down at that top and sit down like on a like that conference with them and say, oh, this is what would happen in the next 10 to 5 years. So, or this is what is going to happen in the next 20 years. And then this is what we need to do. Like, this is what the one that know what is going to happen, what the one that will know the channels that we're going to pass, like we're going to put across or something. So I can't just allow adults. That's why they say, oh, I agree with the fact that they say what a young kid can be, what a kid climb a tree to see, an adult would see it just sitting. Okay, fine, I agree, they would see it, but this doesn't always work right. Like, it doesn't really always work right. Let me climb up and look for it. Like, let me look for it. It's my young age. Let me climb that tree and keep looking for it. When I see it, I know, oh, I have done something very spectacular, because I have looked for what you probably you spend 20 years of your life before you could see it. Then now you sit down, you say you see it. Okay, fine. Let me climb that tree and look for that stuff. You don't need to say, oh, we should always look for. I know that's why we need mentors, right? But the point is that, no, let these young people that
Right.
are from a lot of stuffs at this present age now you expect me to guarantee let me say a young person that is just married, that is thinking about his family, about what they are going to buy for their kids and all, to handle projects, while there are other people that they've not married, or probably people of 19 that you could put in a room, that if you lock them up 24 hours, they will come up with ideas that would solve problems that that what do not even expect at all, because they don't have anything they're thinking about. They don't have anything they should be thinking about, unlike you, that you have like a lot of things that you're thinking about at all. So I feel like no. I feel like no, 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 no. Like, I want kid, because it was a very big challenge for me. I do not see, if you see people around me, when I later started gaining ground, when I was 17 and they're about 18, started gaining ground, I started moving with a lot of kids. People feel like, as much as I move with a lot of kids, I have, at this stage that I am presently, I have a lot of friends that have gotten married, like a lot of friends. The same way I move with people that are older than me, it's the same way I move with kids. You see kids, I speak with them. I speak with them like they're like my age mates. I make sure they see me as this kind of person that they can trust with anything. And they talk to me and they talk to me like, oh, bro. So I want them to look at themselves as this big person, and they can do. We don't have to keep looking at these young people, because they are not the future of tomorrow. They are like the future of now. The moment, or let me say, the moment you tell them or you engage them with stuffs, this thinking of ideas, because sometimes you just see a 15-year-old person or a 40-year-old person, like, and talking about a particular stuff and you're like, geez, how would this person is 14, 15. God, I couldn't have thought of something like this. Like,
When I
this
was
is
there.
crazy. But we want to take, let me say, we want to take all the credit of these young kids. And some of us, some don't let me say some of us, some people use them and then they take their credits and they go outside and these people are doing amazingly well. And that was the only challenge that it was really crazy. In fact, if you're not 18, you can't register you can't register an organization, a company. That one say go far. You can't even apply. So imagine the program I had done from 16 to 18. I can't even say I want to reach out to a bigger organization to apply for funding because they would ask for your certificates. So yes, your CSC registrations and all these things keep on happening and happening and happening. But then I felt like if you're experiencing that presently, right, as a young person, I feel like you shouldn't stop. You shouldn't let that weigh you down. You should just try your best and prove them wrong. I have proved a lot of people wrong over time. You think it is easy for me to say, oh, I was at BBC, I was interviewed by BBC radio and all, like, do you think if I had backed out, like, oh, these people don't want kids, these people don't want this, they don't want that, you think I would have like gotten to a lot of places that I've been to presently? I've been in some crazy conversations in like some mad international conversations and it's just like, oh, this young boy. And it's not just young boy, that's what I cherish among these white people. Say they don't look at this young person and there was a time I was working. Yes, now there was a time I was working with a company called Adamstart, and then I was working with Adamstart, this UK organization. When I went, I was accommodated for about 1 week in Lekki, and then I was the one leading like conversations because yes, we're going to be meeting with a lot of Nigerians, so we need a Nigerian leader and whole. And we're meeting with CEOs, we're meeting with vice principals of schools, and I was one leading the conversation. And damn, I was disappointed with some young Nigerians, and I'm like, are you kidding? Like, I do expect you to do this. Even me, that I'm this young, I'm not behaving like this. This is the way you channel conversation. This is the way these are ways to just tell people you can do this. You don't look down yourself. You don't, because I know it could be in white to sometimes feel like they want to test you to see whether you're smart, and also they throw some stuff to you and they make you look like, oh, they even know more than you in your field. It's a lie. They don't know more than you in your field. They're just checking you out. That's the way it is. But then really, it's just been a challenge. So don't just look down on yourself. Just keep doing what you're doing. I have amazing young friends presently that when I see them, I'm like, dude, there's this guy, an energetic person that you should even know. Nifemi, he's 17. If you see all he has done, I feel like, oh yeah, it's my guy. That's the way it is. These young people will keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. They are going to be somebody someday. So you can't just kill. And that's what I feel like. That's where I feel like we are presently, like the kind of place we found ourselves. You see young people as what do they know? What do they know? That's the way it is.
Our society doesn't encourage young persons. That was interestingly what you just mentioned. It's something I've been thinking of, and it's something that the speaker yesterday, that was a major challenge he highlighted. You know, like you said, everyone will talk about funding. Everyone will mention funding, but this issue of age, this barrier, because it's like now age in this part of the world is considered a barrier. Like what you just said about CAC. Yeah, about CAC. You can't register a company if you're not up to 18. You know, that kind of barrier. There's a young guy, Mosiah Bridge. Mosiah Bridge is founder of Mosbo. And Mosbo is, as of now, as of last time I checked, rather, that was sometime last year, Mosbo is worth $600,000. You know what Mosiah Bridge does? At 11 years, he started creating bow ties with the help of his grandmother and his mother.
I know him. I saw him at like TEDx. I watched one of his TEDx videos.
Oh, you have?
Yes, I watched one of his TEDx.
Interesting. You know, so you can imagine. And in this part of the world, it's, you know, if you are on that part, like you said something that really hit me. You want to invite schools, you want to do this, you want to do that. You're not even looking at this small boy. What are you doing? Go and sit down. Go. Your mates are in school. Go and learn. You understand what
Yes,
I'm
they keep us
saying?
up in school.
I remember when I organized my first competition, that was sometime 2015. When I walked into some offices, I was in year nine then, or year nine. When I walked into some of those schools, the offices, they would look at me and be like, wait, did your mom say you should wait here? Is your mom inside the office? And I'm like, ah. I'm the one that wants to see you. But I thank God, like you said, it's very important for us to have some wonderful people that, a very good network of people that we listen. Because I remember I went to some of those schools and I was accepted immediately. There are still some good adults out there that don't undermine young people. I remember one of those schools I walked into, the director of that school was like, are you the one pushing this? And I was like, yes. And then she said, okay. And I said, this is the registration fee you guys would have to pay for your student. And she was like, I'm ready to pay. The school didn't end up participating in that event, unfortunately, because they had an event on that day to deal with. But but the zeal, it was really encouraging, and I think we need more of that from the older folks. Victor, you've really spoken well. I mean, this personal aspect, you've broken it down. You've broken it down. You've done justice to it. Let's wrap up with this first phase using this with this. Do you have any people you look up to? Any young leader, any leader rather you look up to?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you said any leaders I look up to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look up to a lot of people. I look up to a lot of people. There is one, Abiodun Fijabi, he's a global advisor. Let me say, people I look up to at first to do what I'm doing are my brothers, like my brothers, my two brothers, February and Yano, you. They are amazing people that not like they don't really give me places, they don't really give me opportunities to handle and all. But when I see them, I feel like, bro, you've not done anything yet. Because these guys are really, really amazing. They're really, really amazing. Was the time they could travel, they've really traveled because of programs and all. My first brother could travel to like 4 countries in like a week and just doing stuff, been to African Union to present papers, been to like different countries basically, even been to the Senate House, Senate House to represent youths on like agri for budgets in like the country, stuff like that. And I'm like, God, I've not done anything. Even my second brother, people are just really amazing. Like when I see them, I know I'm motivated, and I don't want to ask for their help when it comes to stuff like this because I really want to amaze and surprise them because they feel like, oh yeah, nobody helped them. Yeah, and they're like, I don't want it to look like that's why I'm not even doing one of the reasons why I'm not even close to them when it comes to community development. I don't want to come and say, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think
I
there
don't
was.
want people to come and say, oh, his brothers are the one behind the stuff like that. So I just look at them and see it as a motivation and keep doing what I'm doing. I have many people. I have Manti Humor, one of the people that one of like a great mother that introduced me to a community development officially. She's founder of she's like the founder of Teen Nation Africa and like the first Teenagers General Assembly I was in 2017, like that she was the executive director and her. So people like that, Abiodun Fijabi, a great man, a great international speaker. Like these are people that when I see them, I look up to them and I'm like, God. Except from
Oh,
some international people that I see and I just check them, check their stuffs out, and I feel like, oh, I want to be like these people, right? So these are really like people I look up to, but then look up to my brothers first.
okay, that's really amazing. Everyone that we've been asking, who do you look up to? They would start by saying, I look up to this person, I look up to that person, you know. But it's amazing seeing that you first look up to your brothers, and you acknowledge that they form a very important part of your life. I love that. All right, now let's hit the second phase of this discussion because we need to be out of here by 5, by God's grace. You've done justice to most of the questions in the second phase through sharing your own experience. So I'd ask you this question, the big question: how do you run a productive non-profit organization and make great impact? You are presently running Upsurge Global. You are running Teen Nation, Teen Expression Radio, and a host of. You've been privileged. You said you've been privileged to volunteer in a host of organizations. So you definitely have a lot of experience when it comes to running non-profit organizations. So how do you run these non-profit organizations, make them productive, and make great impact? Because there are lots of people out there, lots of young people out there that are presently running stuff like this, but then there's no impact. You agree with me? There isn't any impact. In the words of one of our speakers, Julius Ilori, on Sunday, he said many young people now are focused on activities, just activities, do this, do that here and there, but there usually isn't any impact. All right.
Okay, so the question is, how do I run a non-profit, right? Okay, fine. I've said practically some of it while speaking, right? I've said some of it while speaking, and non-profit at first, the best thing. Let me say, hold on. So sorry about that. So non-profit organization, the first thing is know your purpose, like the purpose, or probably let me say the purpose and your mission statement. Let it be clearly written. Let it be clearly written. That's something all of us know, but we cannot jump over it. When you want to run a profit organizations and there is no clear mission statement and there is no clear clear purpose of the organization, I'm telling you, people will just be doing stuff. So you will just be like, what are they doing? What are they doing? This part just doing this one, they're doing this one. That's the way it is. So I think a clear mission statement, that one is very paramount. Another thing is getting the right team, like-minded individual first, and then both of you getting the right people around you to work as a team. And that thing is that must not be jumped over is what's it called? This thing. Why? Why do you want to start this organization? Like, why? Is there a story behind it? What's going on? Like, why do you want to start this thing you're doing? It would really lead you on how to run this thing successfully. I have an organization that is focused basically on leadership and youth empowerment and rest like that. This organization, let me put it this way. A lot of organizations are focused on probably, no, let me say a lot, like different organizations are focused on one particular thing or the other, like climate, you see people focused on good water and well-being, good health and well-being, like different SDGs, right? People are focused on different SDGs to achieve the United Nations goals, right? Like to achieve the whole thing. And then my own organization is not focused on one particular thing. I discovered that every organization is focused on that particular thing. But then, so what my own organization is, we're focused on grooming people to be able to come up with different ideas in diversities, like in different parts, looking out for different problems and solving them. We're not focused on saying all of us want to solve one particular goal. We're looking towards grooming people that would pick different goals and say they want to solve them. So we do not limit people that come around us, unlike people that, I'm not saying people that are doing climate now are not doing very well, but people that are coming to their organization, the climate organizations, are people that, they're interested in climate, they're so much focused on climate, or bringing climate people around. Or those that are focused on agriculture, they're only bringing agriculture people around, right? But we were focused on grooming all those people that would say, after we've groomed them, they will say, I'm going to agriculture, and they would excel well in that agriculture part. They are going to climate and they will excel well in that climate part. So that's like one of the reasons that, let me say, that's why I'm creating my organization and it's doing very well. Which could also mean the, let me put it this way, which could also mean these peculiarities or like the different value propositions of your organization. Now, what is so different about your organization, right? Yeah. So, and that thing is, you need to do, like, you need to have a strong structure. You need to have a meeting with your your team members, your staffs, or like the rest, and you guys need to design a very nice structure. Now we have some structure that we know that we still need to strengthen. Now you know what you know, like there are some things you hear of and you know us for already. When you're of an organization, you need to see what they do, like see their structure. That this organization has amazing structures. Like we say we have Real Leadership Fellowship, we have Regal Tech Academy, we have National Leadership Summit, we have School Outreach. Like you know all what our programs are for at different times. Those are like structures, right? So to run a good profit organization, you need to have like a strong structure. And then if you're above 18, you need to register your organization. It's very, very important to not have problem with government or problem with funding. It will even make you apply for funding internationally and locally and rest like that. And when you create your CAC, you know you need to open a company's bank account, right? You don't need to be using an individual bank account for stuff because people are always skeptical about you like showing your organization name or your personal account on your organization. It seems more of like, oh, you want to scam or like that. I know some people are still doing it presently, but then it's not like you want to scam actually, but then just prove people wrong that, oh, I have a bank account that's registered in my company's name, so I really don't have anything to do with the money, which is not more than because even people that even have company name, they still do scam. But then we just need to just be safe and just to prove people that we're capable of doing stuff. So there are many more ways to run non-profit organizations, but then these are like the few things that I could really relate to that I have done, and which I still look forward to learning more to run my organization. Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, that will bring us to the end of the second phase. Now let's take these three quick questions, then we wrap up with this discussion. All right, so Victor, what is your best book of all time?
What is my
best book of all time?
Best book?
The best book you've read.
Best book I've read. What would have been the best book of? There are a lot of, let me think. There are a lot of books. This is that question coming. Let me look at this. There is this book by John Maxwell concerning vision. Vision. I don't know if that's like the actual topic or so. I don't know if you've read the book, John Maxwell. It wasn't like, I'm not this kind of like a book fan and all like that. But then I read books when I have to read them. But then there is this time around there is this book I read at first, Exceptional Leader by my brother. That was February. He wrote it down, so I read that. And then there is this Vision by John Maxwell that I read. That one, it was him that forced me when I was growing up, and I'm like, oh, you need to read one chapter every day and tell me what you've learned. One chapter. So when I started the book, and I was like, this book is not even bad. It doesn't even need to be like it doesn't have to be forced to even tell me to read this book. I think I can read it and do very well. So I feel like let me just say Exceptional Leader. I think it has shaped me to who I am presently, right?
That's amazing. Okay, and then finally, what makes you happy?
What makes me happy? Okay, there are different things that makes me happy, but there's another thing that makes me happy. When I see a young person this is like ultimate happiness. When I see a young person that comes from my organization and doing amazing stuff or getting selected for amazing programs, or when I'm doing program and I'm seeing the young person pitching after listening to various corrections, teaching or under mentorship, and because I have people that make me happy presently. I don't know what works with you, Fisayomi. When I see Fisayomi today, when I see stuff, when I just see a post, like I smell, because this is somebody that when she wanted to start, she had to reach out to me. She called me and like, oh, she sees a lot of things that people do. She doesn't even know how to start. She doesn't even know. Then I felt like, oh, I have a friend that was so close to me. I started with her for like 2 days and thereabouts. Then so she could have a bigger relationship. Then I introduced her to one of my close friends, a female that would have handled her. Like that one is like an iron hand person. I would handle her very well because I was so busy then. And then she attended at least, let me say like 300, three of such global programs, and which she was shaped. And then when I just see her, there was time that I think she took second in the competition we organized the year about, second or third the year about. So when I see people like when they post online, I feel like I'm so happy. I think that one makes me happy, apart from the normal happiness that you just get from eating and going out and stuff like that. I get up. Let me tell you, I even get happy. I get happier than when I even get selected for programs. Maybe because the happiness of getting selected for programs has been coming so far. So I feel like I need a more refreshing happiness. And so the happiness is when somebody says, oh, this social organization shaped me to who I am presently today. And I'm like, God, thank you. That's just the way it is.
I must say this is one of the best sessions that I've had in the course of this whole program. Thank you very much, Victor, for this amazing opportunity to discuss.
Thank you very much.
I have really been happy. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it. I'm honored.
All right. So we'll wrap up the discussion now. By God's grace, 6 p.m. today, we'll be having a special live evolving session. Special live evolving session on Instagram with Son of the Prophet. This to our viewers on YouTube, thank you very much for joining us. To those that have joined us in Zoom, thank you very much. Thank you again, Victor, for joining us, and God will bless you.
All right. I hope I've been able to answer all your questions, right?
Definitely you have.
And I hope to see if I could attend Son of the Prophet session because he's my guy. I just hope so.
No problem.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.